Hello, and welcome to Kuckles Plays. Today, we are playing Sakura Angels, and I am joined by my friend, so I'm not just reading this game alone, by myself, making it really even more creepy. Matt, say something so they know you're here and I'm not crazy.
Hello, all 5 of you out there listening to this. I hope you enjoy us doing this. It's going to be absolutely horrible. Why would you subject yourself to this? Just leave now. Leave.
That's a great way to keep people around for a video. Tell them to leave at the very beginning.
Yes.
Anyway, we are going to be playing Sakura Angels, which you may have heard of a similar title to this game, Sakura Spirit, which is a game that came before this, and this is kind of a pseudo-sequel to it. I don't think it's very connected, but it's made, I think, by similar people.
It's the same company. They made the same game.
Yeah.
Hence the title being only one word apart.
But it's a different story. It's a different thing.
If you say so.
Well.
All these visual novels definitely have the same story. Here, let's play Count the Tropes.
Oh, well.
Alright, so,
those
first trope.
We
have the intro with clouds. Alright.
Okay. I didn't know that was quite a trope. But anyway, Let's get into the game. We've already kind of pre-decided a couple characters we're going to be doing. And let's see what happens as we meet new characters and try and find voices.
Before we do that,
what?
You can see where the loop of the cloud starts.
I'm glad you noticed that.
At the bottom of the screen. Move your mouse. Move your mouse to it.
Well, they can't see
to your
my
left.
mouse.
To your left.
Oh, I can see that line.
Yeah, that line right there.
That line in the corner that's going off to the left.
Yeah.
Anyway, ignoring that, let's start the game.
This bodes well for things to come. All right.
Doesn't have an intro cinematic.
Every night I have the same dream. Every night. I'm always brought back to this place without fail. And then every morning I'll wake up with no memory of this place at all.
Really?
Sorry.
And then every morning I'll wake up with no memory of this place at all until the next time I fall asleep. Not a single night has went by without my consciousness being dragged into this abyss. This realm is devoid of light, so much so that I can't even see my hand in front of my face, no matter how desperately I wave it. The concept of sound is just as absent, my steps silent and my distressed cries swallowed by the bordering darkness as quickly as they had left my mouth. That was good writing. I'm in a bleak, barren wasteland of nothingness. Spending any prolonged amount of time here begins to make me doubt even my own existence. Yet despite feeling suffocated by a striking absence of anything, I know I am not alone. Something is watching me, stalking me from the shadows. I can't say for sure what it is, but every once in a while I'll catch sight of something from the corner of my view. A pair of burning, bright eyes, fixated purely on me. They hate me, despise me. There's an overwhelming sense of animosity radiating from whoever they belong to. I know they want nothing more than to lash out and attack me, but something is holding them back. A force they truly despise. Invisible chains that bind and restrict them from one thing that is on their mind. At first, when I begin dreaming about this place, the eyes were distant, like glimmering stars. But with each passing night, the eyes seem to inch ever closer and shine ever brighter. I think whatever force has been holding them from me is beginning to fade. What will happen when these eyes reach me? I shudder to think. I know it's just a dream, so I shouldn't be afraid. But everything I experience here is so vivid. None of the usual murky haze that shrouds such dreamlike environments seems to exist here at all. I have perfect clarity. I can feel the stagnant, freezing air all around me, enough to incite a shiver out of me every once in a while. Since I'm so used to this dream, I know how it'll end. I'll wade through the darkness for what seems like an eternity, never finding anything until the morning finally comes and pulls me from this nightmare. At least, that's how it usually ended. Something is different tonight. Those hateful burning eyes that always keep out just out of sight before. I'm suddenly confronted by them. Never before have they been so close. Never before have I stared straight back into them. Those narrow, piercing gaze roots me to this spot and a shooting pain surges through me. I cannot move. I cannot breathe. And then, from out of the darkness, a crooked smile spreads, just as sinister as the eyes. You know...
So close.
You know, you think they would be able to fucking put in the eyes and maybe the mouth instead of just sheer goddamn blackness.
Use your imagination.
So close. I can practically taste the freedom. It won't be long now.
Is that freedom or is that my dick?
Enjoy the peace while you can, boy, for your days are numbered.
I truly think this is probably going to be a girl in the end, but fuck it.
And then everything shall change.
You might fuck it. That's a very well-drawn room. Ugh. My head is killing me. These morning migraines are the worst. Every morning without fail I always wake up to a sensation not unlike my skull being pounded by a jackhammer. Thump! 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 It's almost like a heartbeat. I feel my head is going to split open. It's weird though, because even though the pain is so intense, it never lasts long. It's in the space it takes me to get up and my head for... what? Oh, in the space it takes me to get up and head for school, the pain is usually reduced to just a dull throb at the back of my skull by then.
And you call me out for not being able to read.
So it isn't too much of a hassle in the grand scheme of things. I've only fucked up once, fuck you. But it certainly isn't a fun way to wake up. I find it odd how consistent it seems to be. Anyway, enough pondering these weird mysteries. It's time to tackle the day. After a moment of wrestling with my blanket, I swing my legs around and drag myself out of bed. A quick look at my bedside clock tells me it's still early. Too early. If I had it my way, the world would start until at least a good way into the afternoon. But sadly, life just isn't that wonderful. Pulling back the curtains to let the light flood into my room, I suppress the urge to let out a hiss, almost blinding myself in the process. Too bright! The rest of my time getting ready is spent fighting with my uniform, a tie becoming all the more problematic to put on when you're half asleep. Oh God, I think I've actually got my hand stuck in it! Almost choking myself to death is the most pathetic fight ever. I finish putting on the tie, the rest of my uniform complying peacefully with me. Unable to find a comb, I settle for just flattening my hair down with my hands. Blinking into the mirror, I'm left staring back at someone with messy black hair. It's close enough. Somewhat dressed and somewhat ready, I stumble out of my room, my legs still not fully awake. Uneven steps carry me dangerously down the stairs, and I soon emerge into the kitchen. I'm greeted by silence. The kitchen is empty. A familiar scene for me. My parents are what you might call workaholics. Basically, they spend more time at their respective jobs than they ever do here. I only ever get to catch them during the evening when they're eating, and then everyone is off to bed and the cycle repeats. Don't get me wrong, I understand they have to work in order to keep us living comfortably, so I don't hate them for it. It just gets... I don't know. Lonely? Ah well, there's no use moping about it. It's been like this for years, so I don't know why I was getting all emotional about it now. The plus side of them not being around is that I quickly had to learn how to cook for myself. It's amazing how fast you can adapt to that sort of stuff when you're starving. I don't think I have enough time for anything fancy to eat for breakfast, so I'll just settle for toast. You can never go wrong with toast. Okay. You might be able to go wrong with toast. I have sudden traumatic flashbacks to when the toaster erupted into flames. Ah, what a day that was. But I've learned from my mistakes now.
It won't happen a second. Third time. Having devoured the only slightly charred toast, I sling my bag over my shoulder before starting for the front door. I'll give the empty house a one last look before opening the front door. We get it, you're opening the door. It's kind of depressing to have no one to say goodbye to. We get it, you're lonely as fuck.
So sad.
But again, this has been the same for me every weekday, every morning since forever ago. There is no one on... But did the fucking rapture happen? What the hell? I mean, it is called Sakura's Angels.
Yeah, but that's not what happened.
Okay.
Just like every other visual novel, they just have blank backgrounds because whatever.
Alright. The sun is shining high in a cloudless... I see clouds. Cloudless sky. Birds are chirping overhead. Waves of students are passing by, happily chatting with one another as they all make their way to school. It's all so horrible. I'm not much of a morning person, so I can't even begin to fathom how everyone can be so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed right now. I mean, it's taken all of my willpower just to be able to put a foot in the front of the other without just crumpling to the ground. I just have to hope the breakfast kicks in and gives me the energy I need before I'm forced to literally drag myself through the school gates. ... While keeping my head down and my eyes glued to the ground as I soldiers on, I suddenly notice that the vibrant atmosphere from before is gone. Silence has now completely taken over, my steps being the only thing making any noise. The air is still. Huh. That's a bit strange. Bringing my head up, I'm met with an unsettling sight. The street is deserted. Okay, there you go. No students. No cars. And even the cheerful chirping of the birds is gone. What? I hurry on forward, hoping to at least run into somebody. Anyone. Even the sun's once golden rays seem muted, the world tinged in dreary tones. But there still isn't a cloud in the sky. I see clouds, you're lying. Okay, this is definitely starting to freak me out. I just need to... A splitting pain shoots through my head, stopping me in my tracks. Like a searing poker being thrust through my skull. A headache? Now? Nothing is making any sense. Desperately trying to keep myself upright as I clutch my hand to the head, I struggle forwards. Unlike the headaches from before that gradually died down, this one seems to be only getting worse. Thump, thump, thump. It won't stop at all. I'm brought to my knees. I can hardly even think straight, my head threatening to explode at any moment. And then, through gritted teeth and a pained expression, I see it. Something that shouldn't exist, yet clearly does, as confirmed by my own terrified eyes. A monster. That's the only word I can come to my... Ow. That was my knee. That's the only word that can come to my scrambled mind. A hulking, grotesque mass of flesh, with gnarled fangs and red slitted eyes, seething with hate. The closest thing I can relate it to would be a dog, but no dog I know of is 3 times the size of me. It forms practically eclipsing the sun. It snorts with flared nostrils, something like steam being exhaled out. Given its tense stance and the fact that it's blocking my way, I can only assume it's here for me. But why? What the hell is it? Where did it come from? Why does it want me? 1,000,001 questions race through my head, but I doubt I'm going to get any answers from this thing. The only one thing I can do when presented with such odds, and that is to...
Have a choice. Stand
Fucking
your
run.
ground or run.
Fucking leg it!
Really? Run?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll flee.
Drinking water. Yeah. Of course. I would be an idiot to attempt anything else. When confronted with something that defies everything I know about nature and has a look that says, I'm gonna eat you, it's a basic human instinct to want to run. Not giving the beast any more of my time, I spin on my heel and hurtle myself in the opposite direction. Any fatigue I might have felt earlier is magically gone as I pump my legs frantically. It's amazing what fear can do to pep up your senses. I run as fast as I can, but in my haste I twist my foot at a bad angle, crumpling in a heap on the ground. Ignoring the nasty scrapes across my knees, I desperately try to heave myself up off the ground, but it's useless. I'm a complete wreck. I can hear the beast rampaging just behind me, having given chase. The fear of impending death is making my limbs useless, my scattered mind unable to give them any clear commands. The only thing I can do is turn my head around to meet my incoming demise, the beast stomping so hard across the ground that its cracks spread out with each step. It's over. White flash. Right before the beast can connect with me and bring my life to a grisly end, a dazzling, radiant light floods my vision, engulfing both me and the monster. The beast stops in its tracks, a guttural cry escaping it before it vaporizes before my eyes. Ellipsis. What the hell just happened? Is that me? Mm-hmm. Okay. Give me one sec.
Jeez, that was a close one.
Oh god, that voice is gonna be perfect for her.
Are you alright?
A cheerful voice chirps. A welcome sound after the terrors of that thing.
Don't talk to him. We have to leave before.
And then there's another voice that's less cheerful. In fact, they sound angry more than anything. Whoa! A light soon fades, revealing my saviors. Though, this is definitely the last thing I was expecting. A bunch of half-dressed, half-naked chicks, one with a gigantic sword, and the other with a sweat coming down. Why is there sweat? Two girls, roughly my age, stand before me. I blink several times before I scrub at my eyes, hoping things might make a little more sense. This can't be real. I'm having more trouble believing these girls are actually standing before me than I did a monster. Wielding weapons and costumes taken straight out of a fantasy book, it's all a bit too much for my brain to attempt to process.
What? What the heck was that?
A shadow.
The more cheerful of the two simply says that to me, her stance relaxing some.
Huh?
Was that supposed to explain everything? Was that supposed to explain everything? I glanced down at my feet where my own shadow stretches, but the girls bust out into a giggle.
Not your own shadow, silly. That thing we just took care of, which you're welcome for, by the way, is what we call a shadow. The physical manifestation of all the hatred and negative emotions that might lurk in someone's heart. Normally, they're not so aggressive during the day, though. It was really out for you. We're usually pretty good at nabbing them before they get to you, but this one completely took us by surprise. I'm happy we got here in time. You're not hurt, are you?
No, I'm fine, but... As if things weren't bad enough that we had to reveal ourselves to him. Now you're just casually blabbing away. Things that normal person should have no right to know. Have you lost your mind?
So are you guys gonna, like, make out or something? Alright. I'm cut short by the more aggressive looking of the pair, whose expression had grown darker and darker as the cheerful one had spoken. Looking like she's unable to take it anymore, she exploded, causing both of us to jump.
Oh, but he looks so confused. And now that he's seen one of the shadows firsthand, don't you think it's just a little too late for us to quietly slip back into these shadows?
Ellipses.
Her eyes narrow into a frightening glare. It's clear she is not happy. But I don't think she has anything to counter that.
See, you worry too much. We'll only tell him what he needs to know. Nothing more, nothing less.
The upbeat girl brings her attention back to me, a sparkle in her eye.
Right, so, Kenta, where were we?
We were...
Wait.
How do you know my name?
Huh? Oh. Whoops. She puts her hand to her mouth as if try and take back the words. The questions continue to pile up, and I still haven't gotten answers.
You idiot.
Whap! The serious one raps her fist against the other's head, who sticks her tongue out in a sort of tee-hee, my bad kind of way.
So, you guys know me?
I've never seen them in my life. And given how they look, I definitely think I would have remembered them. Well, we don't know you personally, but we've been watching over you for a while now. You've become quite the point of interest recently, you know.
Me?
What the heck did I ever do to get so much attention? As far as I know, I'm just an average student who lives an average life, doing average things. Though, after this, I guess I can't really call my life average anymore. Can't really go into details, cause, you know, top secret and all that, but let's just say, it's not in our best interests for you to fall into the wrong hands. You wouldn't believe how much effort we've been putting into keeping you safe, you know. Actually, I'm kind of relieved we finally get to meet you, so you can finally appreciate all of our hard work. She beams at me, leaning in perhaps just a bit too close. She's throwing so much at me here I can hardly think straight.
Just who the heck are you guys?
She falls deep into thought, her nose scrunching. I guess she's choosing her words carefully as to avoid another brutal assault from her partner. Think of us as your guardian angels, okay? Saying that, she gives her brow a flourish.
Bow.
Bow a flourish, and it shatters between her fingers. What bow? Moments later, the
apparently
shattered
has a bow.
pieces of the bow begin to gather behind her, the shards piecing back together rapidly until finally they form a pair of wings on her back. I see no wings. The wings, while not strictly attached to her, at least seem to function as they sway in the breeze and give off a glimmer every now and again.
Because that's how you know they're gonna function, because they're slightly moving and whatever.
Absolutely. Wait, are they literally angels?
Let me get this straight. To start from the beginning, that thing that attacked me, that monster, you call those shadows?
Yes.
And these shadows have supposedly been hunting me for a while now? Because apparently if they catch me, it'll be bad for unspecified reasons.
Yes. Really bad.
And you guys, whoever you are, have been combating them from the shadows to keep me safe from harm?
She nods enthusiastically. It looks like I've just about got a grip on what this whole thing is, even if it was a little sparse on the details. Knowing all this, it brings me to the conclusion that these girls have lost it.
Okay, so
Actually, no.
gonna go with this
Nah, we'll believe them.
believe them?
Yeah.
Okay. They're spouting nonsense.
As crazy as all this sounds, I can't deny the evidence before me. That monster was definitely real, and I have no reason to doubt these ample girls who destroyed that thing right before my eyes.
Okay, so, what happens now?
Well, now that the shadow has gotten more aggressive, I don't think we can go back to our old job of watching you from afar. We're lucky to just barely catch that thing just now, after all. Somehow I don't like the sound of that, or what it might imply. At all. So, we'll be parting ways for now, but expect us to be keeping an extremely close eye on you from now on. Okay? Bye-bye for now. She gives me a wink and a wave before taking off in the other direction. Her less enthused partner simply turns her head from me with one last humph before following after her. I'm soon left completely alone within the street,
Well, just moments ago, my entire world had been spun on its head. Did all of that just happen? Jeez. This will have to wait for later, though. What was it in that toast? Right now, I have to focus on the bigger issue. Being late for school!
Oh my god!
Guy's got his priorities.
I break into a sprint as I try to make up for lost time, all the while hoping that I'll never run into those two ever again. Actually, I might like running into them again.
Several times.
Specifically, literally running into them. Somehow I just about barely make it to class.
While fantasizing heavily.